Excuse me, the therapist is leaving, okay? Big sis is here. Alright, so hold my earrings. Hold my earrings. We're done. We're done. This is no more. Therapy session is over.
It's perfect for you. Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize.
Hey everyone, my name is Rosalie Elliott. Welcome to the show. I am YouTuber, singer, songwriter. I've worked as a therapist. There is an important video out that Ren put out. I want to talk a bit about what is happening here. And this is my way of showing support for him, trying to drive more traffic to his channel. He put out a video called Why Sick Boy is Off All Streaming Platforms. Awareness is key. Views are the new currency. Sure, the money is also where it's at. But nowadays, people are able to have enormous impact through social media. And it goes beyond just being a billionaire that can now pull the strings when it comes to politics and the music industry. You can sway people. The more we talk about this, the more we shed light and we support Ren or any fellow musician when they are under attack or they're being played by the music industry or they're in the thick of it. This is the perfect way to do that. So watch this video, leave a comment, share, watch his videos, flood his channel, right? Let the music industry, let the world know we're not playing. We're not coming to play. You come after our brother, you come after us.
This is a video that I never ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed.
I love how even as he's sharing what's really happening, there's a lot of humility, perhaps even grief. You can see that this is a sombering, serious conversation to be had. He's not here to make us laugh right now, but still somehow, even when he speaks, there's this cadence flow. Even when he talks, it's poetic. I'm like, dude, even this could be a song. It's phenomenal. And I'm not saying that to make fun. This is a very serious situation. But just to see, like, even the way he speaks is so melodic. I respect that so much. He's music through and through.
A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boy has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it.
Okay, keywords. I was proud of it. I poured into it. That shows us this is beyond, I created a little something, do with it as you will. For artists, this is part of their identity, if not their entire identity, what we create. And so those keywords really show us he is emphasizing this is serious, this is important, this is big. That will cause not only personal struggles in the sense of finances when you have a financial loss or you pour money into something and now someone wants to steal it from you. That type of stuff also triggers matters of identity because who we are is being attacked. It can tap into our existential fears. We want the freedom to express ourselves, to create, to keep what we've worked for. And when someone says, I'm going to take that away, when we feel out of control, like someone can shut that down and take away everything we've worked for, that can also create a lot of anxiety because our freedom is being infringed on.
And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am, they know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want this to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Cujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of either of those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here.
There's no better way to back up the things you say than by facts. When we are in relational conflict, be it personal, be it through business, things can get blurry really fast. They say there are two sides and there's the truth. But we get emotional because either, as I said earlier, our identity is under attack, our integrity is being scrutinized, our sense of our existential fears, my desire for freedom to express myself, to keep what I've worked for, etc. All those things create anxiety, they create fear, and we become reactive, both as fans of Ren Ren himself, a lot of emotion, as he says himself. The best way when it comes to relational conflict is to bring in the facts. And that's hard sometimes, because sometimes people will claim things to be fact that are opinion. That's why even in school we learn that there's a difference between the two. But at the end of the day, when you bring in fact, when you try to cool off, you have a mediator perhaps, or be objective, it's easier, hopefully, to work towards clarity, to come to some type of conclusion.
To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called Kujobeats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is...
Thank you. And just from the get-go, he is showing us the evidence. No lies, facts. He bought it, unlimited use. Unlimited means you should be able to have access to it unlimitedly. I mean, we all understand that word. You don't have to, dive into the psychology of that. Duh. Side note, and this is me speaking as a singer-songwriter. There are only so many chords in the world. Things will sound similar. This is why this whole concept of plagiarism and theft and copying is tricky. We have the same conversation when it comes to race. Again, connected to our identity. I want to be an individual. I don't want you to pretend you're me. I don't want you to take my work, all the things I've done and accomplished. We don't want appropriation. That's always a big hot topic, or has been over the last few years, right? Don't say something is yours when it's not. There is validity to that. However, and that's why, law needs to protect you. And I think there's a really cool video out that I want to look into where a lawyer reacts to all of this. So check that out. Top music attorney. But then there are also elements to this where people want to be quick to accuse, in the music industry anyways. At what point is it appropriation, and at what point is it appreciation? Can I now not celebrate other cultures just because they're not my own? And then, newsflash, chances are maybe they are my own somewhere back in my DNA, because hashtag we're all cousins, right? And we see influences from different cultures, even in music all the time. You see Arabic influences in Spanish music. You see Spanish music influences in Western music. And it's beautiful, in my opinion. Talk about inspiration. I created this shirt when I watched Hi Ren. I was so amazed and impacted by Ren, by the song Hi Ren. I was in tears. I was laughing and cheering because, for one, I was cheering for him and his courage, but I was also personally touched, deeply touched by the message of standing up, of choosing hope, of understanding that dance between dark and light and those internal demons. And it inspired me to create a shirt. Dance in the light. I tell people what inspired this. I point people to Ren. I was so honored when someone on his management team introduced me to another manager of another artist in an email conversation and expressed how I was one of the reactors who greatly influenced pushing Hi Ren to the masses. It's been one of my biggest videos to date. It's not the only video that brought people to my channel. I have my own work, my own documentary, my own songs or covers that I put out. There's still intellectual property of my own. I wouldn't just want to be seen as a fan of Ren, right? I am my own person with my own degree, with my own accomplishments, with my own intelligence. It's a both and. Being inspired, creating. I even told Ren about this shirt. There's a dance here between individuality and collectivity and connection. And it's beautiful. So for Ren to be inspired by other beats, for Ren to legally, rightfully purchase a beat, and then use it, if exactly the way it was or as a modified version, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing new under the sun. And this mindset of, it has to be 100% you, to me is a very similar mindset to trying to find a pure bloodline. Claiming that there's such a thing as the original and the pure and the aria. What is this? What is this? So, fine dance, fine line. But Ren, there's no doubt that he went about it the right way because he purchased the license.
All very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc., right? After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here just in case Kujo claims I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But
Okay, real quick. And I'm going to be transparent. This is me not being objective. Obviously, you know, Ren is my brother. Not biologically, but from another mother. That's my brother. I did a reaction to his video. It's one of my biggest videos to date because it was so impactful. He honored me with letting me interview him when my channel was even smaller. Treated me like a regular person, just honored to talk to me being honored to talk to him. Go check out the interview. He is a very authentic, down-to-earth, highly intelligent person. We know this. For him to share all this, again, all of the facts is very helpful. But it's hard for me, and I'll be straight with you, to not be subjective a bit. Get defensive and be like, I know why this, the opponent in this situation is doing this. I'll be honest with you. My mind is not being objective right now, and I'm not looking at this as a therapist in this very moment going, let me hear both sides. How do you feel? How does this make you feel? Let's talk about why this is affecting us. What can we do from here? Let's mediate. I'm going to be a little subjective right now, and I'll be straight with you. Self-awareness is key. It makes me mad for Ren, and it makes me think, I know what's going on here. To me, Sick Boy's taken off, Ren's gotten huge. A lot of times in the music industry, you'll have people go, wait a minute, I want more out of this, right? Where's my credit? And that too is a psychological thing. That is pride a lot of times. I just recently felt that in a personal situation in my life where one person was being praised and honored and they did accomplish something great. But what was going on behind closed doors, behind the scenes, was not visible. And I had to shut my mouth and remind myself, this is not always about you, Rosalie. Like, you don't always have to go fending for your, right to be seen. Well, but I did this and this and this and that, and you couldn't have done this if I wouldn't have covered this and that front in the home front. It's not always about me, and it's also not always about my accomplishment. So pride will do that, though, to us sometimes. What about me, right? What about my voice? What about my feeling? I don't know all the details. I'll keep listening, but again, that's where my mind goes, if I'm honest with you. I just wanted to practice self-awareness and self-disclosure in that moment.
Anyway, he was credited fully, like, very soon in, everywhere. And as far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right? So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat. I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. That's like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face. Because I want to understand how.
Watching this, commenting, reacting to this, watching his video, commenting there, blowing it up will facilitate that. This goes back to what I said in the beginning. Views is what makes the world go round now. Money too, yeah, but money is views. You have a big enough platform and you're going to get to sit with the greats of greats. Make this go viral, dude. Make Ren go viral and let's facilitate that. Let us facilitate that.
Understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that I think must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there and make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boy has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy kujobeats' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response for 2 days. So
Okay, real quick, guys. This part I can empathize with. Let's practice empathy. I can empathize because I know what it's like to create, to put your work into something, months of blood, sweat, and tears, like with my documentary, doing songs, covers, yes, also doing reactions to other people's work, but still trying to analyze, add commentary, truly trying to add intellectual property, making a channel, creating a community, and then waking up one day and finding, oh, you've been striked. Now, in my case, there's still, of course, that fine line because I'm still reviewing other people's work, so naturally there's even more chance of that happening. But it's still scary to think that after so many strikes, your channel is gone, which includes not only reactions to other people's work, but your own property, my own documentary, my songs, etc. How much more would that be the case for someone like Ren, who has put his own work on this channel? He is not even a reaction channel, right? So there's not even that side of, where's the line? You're also reviewing somebody else's work. This is his work. And that's what's also, again, so fishy to me. It doesn't seem to be a third, fourth, fifth party that now was trying to claim this strike. It's kujobeats. So this is with the beat creator, beat owner.
for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago, with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment in his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on? Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments.
Speaking of key moments, I may watch this whole thing with you guys. I know I was going to maybe fast forward and just watch all of it from me on my own time and then share parts. I may watch this whole thing with you, and it'll be a long video. We'll see. But watch it on his channel too. Make his views go up.
But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they're welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds, and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're alright, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation, when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it, and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying, when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I can't.
Let me read this real quick. I'm pausing real quick. This paints that I'm putting out false information. I'm not. Brother, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm addressing the irate fans. That didn't sound like it. When you say somebody doesn't leave you a choice, you're not addressing the fans, you're addressing the artist. In third person. You said you hope me and my team would do the right thing. I don't even know what the issue is. I'm really not trying to damage your image, bro. That sounds very vague. That almost sounds like, and this is not me as speaking as a lawyer, this is me speaking as an individual with common sense. So I would hope. This doesn't sound like clarity at all. This sounds very vague. And I would assume that this is, one way of trying to put something in writing to make sure that that kujobeats can't be accused of, what is the word? When you are trying to damage somebody's reputation, right? So, I'm not trying to damage your image, I'm not trying to turn this into a defamation type of process, but it's so vague. And that, when it comes to communication, just to go to the psychological aspect, makes conflict resolution very difficult, right? Of course, it doesn't absolve the emotions. It doesn't make somebody feel more reassured. When we're angry, when we're confused, we're looking for reassurance. Either affirm me that you're hearing me, or put in your own words what I just said, show me that you were actually listening, but to not answer the question, to not say, hey, this is what the issue is, to not respond with clarity causes for more confusion. It heightens emotions. Now reactiveness or defensiveness may increase, and things escalate. And then even here, Ren responding with, can you explain it to me? Okay, so Ren is communicating, I don't understand. Ren is responding with, I need clarity. And so far it looks like all the action that's being taken is I'm going to change that comment so that it's more clear that I'm talking to the fans. And communicating, I don't think you're lying. I'm not trying to damage your image. But what is happening?
So I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell is happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Kujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated, and they've, I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now. To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way.
Yes.
And the video gets taken down.
Oh, that makes me mad.
As a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think.
Absolutely a freaking bizarre way. I'm not going to stay objective with this, y'all. This is ridiculous. The video is his work, his property. So that's the frustrating part, right? I know it's hard when it comes to strikes and when it comes to claims to only claim a section, and you can do that. When I receive claims, they are for the specific part that I reacted. I could mute that part out, I could take it out of my video, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the reaction. There's different ways to handle all that. But his whole work, all of the 10,000s of pounds he's put into the music video, all of that is also going away. So it's beyond the track, it's beyond the beat, it's everything. And 99% of this whole song is his, other than that little sample that now, as you heard yourself, was from somebody else. I agree with this, with the conclusion or the suggestion to have kujobeats handle and absolve this, to absorb it. They are the ones who used a segment that was not legally theirs. And this company that is selling these beats in their contract, as he even showed us black on white, says they have the responsibility to make sure there's no third-party beats. This is all, to me, common sense. And so things are getting messy here legally. It's all a freaking money game, and that's what's disheartening. And again, I don't know the lawyer aspect, so go check out Top Music Attorney. She did a video about from the lawyer aspect that I'm intrigued by. I'm coming at it from the psychological aspect. I'm trying to use my video to bring awareness, to use my platform to get people to go support Ren, to spread the word, because there is power between awareness. There's power in views, and there's a lot of psychology behind how it impacts us, our emotions, when we're blindsided like this. And then keep in mind, in addition to that, Ren was going through the stress of the health, right? When you are going through diagnoses, when you're going through health matters, as I also mentioned in Hi Ren, that also affects us greatly. Our sense of identity, our sense of worth, of meaning. What does this mean? Where is God? Who am I? What is life? It affects us through our existential fears, our death anxieties, our fears of loneliness, our fear because we feel isolated, misunderstood, gaslit by the health industry, misunderstood by people that may want to belittle our health issues or our symptoms or our complaints. It affects our existential fears when it comes to our freedom. We want to be free, to be healthy and live life long and be happy and express ourselves. When you're laying in bed sick, you can't do that. So all of the things he was going through, in addition to trying to get better, to heal, to live life like we all want to and pursue happiness, he's now being hit with this, blindsided. And that also can cause trauma. It can also cause distress, because when something happens that you didn't expect, you couldn't prepare for, it also takes away that feeling of safety. Right? I mean, we know this in life on a smaller and bigger scale.
I think because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone first, if this was getting so blown up. Like maybe the lawyers, maybe Kujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist.
They dropped the
Nobody
ball.
did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that Kujo's posted, calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. There's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Kujo, which should be paid to Kujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher. which is nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation.
I'm not a lawyer, and all of this makes sense to me. What about you? How do you feel about this? Comment below. How does this make you feel? How does it affect you as a Ren fan, or as a lover of his music, or just someone random on internet right now that saw this video? How does it make you feel hearing such stories? Do you have personal memories it brings up? What type of feelings does it evoke in you? Talk to me in the comments.
And he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly? Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money, because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any way. So like, I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool.
Again, we have evidence here. That's very important in conflict resolution. This is not just Ren saying stuff. He's actually showing us.
I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. It's up to the producer. But unless there's been a conversation. But in this case,
that sounds contradictory to the contract he showed us earlier, where you're supposed to be able to have rights to whatever you bought, unlimited rights, and how the company or the contract, there's supposed to be no ties to third parties.
As you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here, because he sold a stolen sample, and I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right?
That's very reasonable, by the way. That's very reasonable. You sold me crap, and then the previous owner is coming after somebody. It should be you. You're the one who abused, intentionally or unintentionally, good faith.
So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here, and he's flipped on his head like, we'll be good to you, you know.
Yeah.
I've done nothing wrong in this situation.
And that psychologically too can infuriate or can create anger, because it feels like a form of gaslighting to say, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not actually you who can split with me. And it's almost this reverse psychological approach of saying you did wrong, when it almost makes you go, am I crazy, right? Like, it almost makes you go, what am I missing? Even Ren here going, I don't even know what's happening. And I feel like the lawyers, kujobeats, and everyone else involved really dropped the ball. Anyone that did not communicate and was communicating among each other instead of addressing the artist, who they now claim is supposed to be responsible, that to me is a hypocrisy, right? You're talking amongst yourself over here, but now you're saying you should be handling this, you're responsible. If I'm responsible, why are you not coming to me? I don't know what I don't know. But also then gaslighting, it feels to me, and practicing some type of reverse psychology to now flip it and go, actually, you can pay me. Actually, you're going to be the one who, or will pay you, right? It's trying to take back power. I feel like there's a lot of ego involved here, money games, of course, but it's now trying to basically say, we're actually in charge and we'll tell you what you can have.
Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me. They're scratching their head. How can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which also, I didn't actually violate the contract. Not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me, send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work, so like, send me an email about this. Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to.
Wise.
But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right? They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out.
Wow.
Retroactively. So since it's come out to this moment and then into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things,
Unbelievable.
you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus a £3,000 advance. Out of principle,
this is extortion.
I wasn't going to give him that.
This is extortion.
Because like I may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put like,
we don't negotiate with terrorists. Nah, man. Y'all, I'm on fire now. I think the therapist just walked out the room. Now sister's showing up. I'm like, I'm sorry. I started as, hey, I worked as a therapist, not a licensed therapist in my state, but I worked as a therapist. I'm a teacher. This is my degree. I'm also a singer and a songwriter. We're going to look at this psychologically. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The therapist is going to leave. Hold on. Excuse me. The therapist is leaving, okay? And big sis is here. All right? So hold my earrings. Hold my earrings. All right? We're done. This is no more. Therapy session is over. We're gonna go full Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We're gonna go guillotine. We're gonna guillotine and bow and arrow the shiznit out of this. Nah, guys. Nah. Sis is in the room. Therapist is gone. I'm sorry for this video, okay? In the next video, I'm gonna try to be your sweet, loving, psychologically and analyzing life coach. Sis is in the room. You guys, go subscribe to Ren. Make this ish go viral. This is where, I'm telling you, this is where the money's at, you guys. If people like Theo Von, some dude that is so down to earth and chill and funny, can blow up to the point he's interviewing politicians. If you have people like Joe Rogan, he was somebody's kid. That's somebody's son. And now he is, the biggest the biggest podcaster, where everybody knows them, to the point where they can sit with presidents and they are in the elite because of views, because of people. We can do that for Ren. We can come together and we can say, hey, we're going to create the type of platform where we support our brother and bring awareness. That's where the power is at. Don't F with him. All right. I'm going to try to reel the Cubana. I'm going to try to reel the Latina back in. But the problem is if I reel the Cuban in and the German comes out, you're still fudged. So I'm going to try to just bring all of it down. The German, die Deutsche muss sich beruhigen. Beruhig dich, Rosalie, beruhig dich. Und die Kubanerin. All right, let's keep going. Heide, bim bam. My goodness.
It lies about the situation, right? But out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means that now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now. Give me a bit more money for it. Because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money. It was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry. But that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract.
It's unbelievable. The corruption, the extortion. Guys, if I don't share the full video of his, I'm going to still share clips of my face and my reaction to this so you can see how this is also affecting me. And I want to drive awareness. I don't want this video to get so long though that people don't watch it. So if I don't share all of his, go check it out. Watch his full explanation, okay? So if I'm a fast forward, or if you see parts of my response, that's why.
The content ID was turned off, and I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs.
Facts, as also a reactor, That's 100% what's been going on. Ren has been so supportive of the reactor community. I've been in communication with people from his team. Constant communication, kindness, openness, gratefulness, not looking at us as some type of parasite that is trying to, get a famous off of some artist's back, but actually appreciating us as intellectuals with our own expertise. 100% I can support this. I can really back this up.
Annoyed.
Bro, I don't
which
blame you.
is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boy as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down.
Also, by the way, even this video, even though I'm getting heated right now and I'm going like rallying up, I'm doing that because of my emotions, okay? This is not because he's over here going, ooh, let's all, rally up against kujobeats. Not once did he say that, at least not so far. My response of me going, guys, we got to make this go viral, is because of my emotions. That's where people also have to take responsibility for their own response to things. This is not him rallying people together. This is simply him addressing a matter that has to be addressed. What is he supposed to do? Stay silent? Be bullied in the sidelines? And that too is tricky. And that also speaks of, psychologically speaking, of an unhealthy dynamic here. When you're expecting someone just to stay quiet. You're gaslighting, you're reversing the psychology, you're playing games, you're not communicating clearly, but then you want to isolate and tell the person, well, don't talk to people about this publicly because it'll make me look bad. Boy, if you don't want to be made look bad, don't make yourself look bad. But even still, Ren is not out here going, hey, everybody and their mama, let's go, storm the castle. No, he's sharing professionally in spite of his emotional experiences. Now, you have a right to do that.
Because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation.
No,
the time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things have got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea. Because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base is giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like, despite how frustrated it's made me, I don't want this guy to get ruined. I don't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, I thought of the thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry, yeah? You and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing. Because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more
admirable.
And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next. But it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that.
He probably knows.
Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it would also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out of this looking good.
Gosh, boy, at this point, this other guy, again, I'm not speaking as a lawyer. I'm just speaking, with a little bit of that I know. At this point, I'm like, kujobeats is riding a thin line about when it comes to defamation. Isn't that the word? To me, that's riding that line. Talking about, oh, this person steals stuff. You're making claims that you have to take back down? Yee!
He did not say a single word. Even when I addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's
got the problem with me.
Like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word. And I thought that was disrespectful, given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers, but No, man. This is mad, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit, whatever. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm not trying to ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video, but I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But it is up to me to talk about this situation fair.
And this is also a thing. We're adults here, okay? People have to start taking responsibility for their responses, okay? Ren is not in no way insinuating anyone go after him. If people draw that conclusion, that's their choice, not Ren's fault. Ren is sharing and he's giving us facts. But in the same sense, kujobeats and co need to take responsibility. If you post things, if you put things out of the internet, there are going to be consequences. To me, that is also a form of gaslighting, of saying, hey, have you considered what this could do to the person? And then not considering what their comments and their choices are doing for Ren. That's a double standard. But again, Ren is in no way communicating that. But kujobeats and his girl also have to take responsibility. You can't message people violent threats, post defaming stuff, accusing people of lying, saying things you then have to change, which we see black and white. He says, I'm going to have to edit that comment, or now takes things back down. You can't do that and then expect there's no consequences. I don't know what world we live in these days where people think they can comment whatever and there's not going to be retribution. You say that to somebody on the streets, you won't get your booty whipped. Your peach is going to be blue. I mean, you know what I mean? You can't come after someone and be like, how dare you respond? You poke a bear, you're going to get bit. But you're not even dealing with the bear here. This guy is a gentle, I'm sure he got some fire. I'm sure, mi hermoso got some fuego. But he's handling it very amicably.
But it is up to me to talk about this situation fairly. So like, we seem to make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about like her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD and like, maybe we just got, and so I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So like, cool. You know what? Maybe these guys it's just a big misunderstanding and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? But then at this point I start being like, you know what, maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract, and then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I pull her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, this is the first time I've threatened to sue out this situation. I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right? And my principles. And I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've done
it's still a similar principle, regardless if you have a little fish or a big fish. The fish is trying to bite you, and it's for exposure, it's for fame. But the irony is that it's stupid. It's stupid because if they would have gone with Ren's very amicable, more than reasonable, very quite generous suggestions, when we're so stubborn to hold on to our right to be right or our desire to win, and we either completely forsake the facts or we narrate something to ourselves, we lie to ourselves, you escalate something to a point where now there's no coming back from it. And that's what people forget in relationship. We live in this world, and maybe it's this time we live in where there's less consequences because you can post and say whatever on social media, or maybe it's this era where people think that that's how you get to fame, right? No matter at any cost, right? You'll take off your clothes to be seen. You'll do all kinds of scandalous things. Who cares, right? It's your 5 minutes of fame doing the craziest thing because that's how you'll become a viral sensation on any given platform. And you forget that you're losing either your soul or you're losing a proper reputation. People are going to look at you through that lens. For one, is that how you want to be known? Is that how you want to be known? You even see it nowadays with people that are trying to look amicable. Somebody will find their past. Somebody's going to see
out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic,
but
man,
even
because
for your
the song
own self,
is
even
about
for your
greed,
own
you
sake,
know.
for your
And
own
it hurts me
integrity
a
and
lot that
dignity,
it's
is that how
down
you
now.
want
It
to
proper
die?
hurts
Is that
me,
how you
man.
want to live? To be
I
known
can't
for
stress
any
that
given
enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also sent a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me. Right, because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and that regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second, that song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times. You know, like,
This is hard to see, man. Him at the verge of tears, it makes me angry. This is not okay. I wonder if there's a way for him to put that song back out with a different beat or something. A remake, remix, something.
From people. So yeah, pissed off. Anyway.
Pissed with you.
So I sent that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this. It's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss, one of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat.
Wow. Oh, the gaslighting here. Almost as the gaslighting. You're gonna accuse me, take no responsibility for your illegal activity, using beats that were not yours to use, selling a faulty product, then wanting not only to share and resolve it amicably, but take all of it and now say, oh yeah, if you really cared, you would leave it up. What? So you can profit? No, bro. You are caring about yourself. Ooh, this makes me angry. That's exactly what all of this is about. And the other guy is probably pissed. Kujobeats is probably pissed because his manipulating, gaslighting, and reverse psychological strategies were not working. And now he's trying to make this personal and poke where it would hurt the most, which is Ren's integrity, Ren's personality, Ren's love for his fans, or as Kujo is trying to accuse him, lack thereof. I'm sorry, if you make a beat and you sell it, okay, and somebody pays you, you've got your money. If you didn't value yourself more, that's on you. If you choose to sell something for $1, like he said with the painting earlier, and then you realize later that you could have charged 20 because homeboy next door is making 20 bucks off of it, that's on you. It is not, what is this entitled concept of, oh, well, you know, I was here first and you sold it for what did he pay, $99 or something like that for an unlimited license. It was your job to make sure you got your stuff legally. You stole from a third party and then you sold it for what you thought it was valuable, working with whatever company you thought was worth working with. If somebody else goes around and now makes a buck, a banging from that, well, congrats to them. Learn from it. Value your beats better, man. Make sure that your beats are not stolen, and then you value your beats higher. But now you're going to be infamous for being a knucklehead. Weird. The hypocrisy. My goodness, the jealousy is real. But a lot of people do this. They let anger, ego, pride, or their own insecurities get in the way, and they miss out on so much. We compare ourselves, we socially, you know, status, elite, whatnot. You have your rich, cool friends, you maybe feel a little better about yourself. You have poor friends or not so cool friends, maybe you feel low about yourself. Show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. We have all these sayings. We compare ourselves up and down the ladder when it comes to social status. It affects our identity. And instead of realizing, just be better. You create something awesome. Instead of comparing yourself, putting other people down, getting all angry in the comment section, do better. That instead of stepping out and tapping into, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling animosity towards this person? Analyzing that, healing from that, and then being yourself great. You know, if you feel some type of way about me, then be better. Then do what you don't like about me. Instead of going, oh, you wish you this and you could change that, you talk too much, then talk less. Comment less, a matter of fact. No, don't comment less, because all your hate is good for my algorithm. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I read this the other day, I posted it. An athlete won't judge you for working out. A millionaire won't judge you for starting a business. A musician won't judge you for trying to sing a song. It's always the people going nowhere that have something to say. And I think that's generally often very true. So instead of looking down, instead of comparing, instead of trying to feed off of like a parasite off of other people's success, go and be great then. That's what my encouragement to Kujobeats would be. Assess, self-evaluate where all of this was coming from, truly, beyond, oh, I feel like I have a right, blah, 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 blah. Move past the surface level. Where's all of this coming from? Do you feel insignificant? Are there insecurities? Do you feel small? Were you trying to get in with Ren? This was the wrong way to do it. Were you looking for affirmation? Do you feel insecure in your beats? Did you feel like you were in the behind the scenes, like I was talking about in the beginning of the video? Maybe he felt small in some kind of way or it triggered something. Assess that, analyze it, work it through it, and then create. If you want to be known and awesome and a man of integrity like Ren, then be it. Go and do this.
It's funny, hypocritical, funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork, which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen.
Ending our hope.
I'm releasing a song about this whole situation.
Oh, snap.
And it's dedicated to Kujo.
Oh, snap. Oh God, imagine if Ren writes a song for or against you. Good Lord. Oh my gosh. I better ever get on Ren's bad side.
And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Kujo Beatdown. And I love it.
Oh my gosh, that is so brilliant. Kujo beats, Kujo beat down, because he had to take the beat down, the whole song, but also beat down. He's beaten down on him. Even the title is double entendres galore. Oh, this one's gonna be wild.
We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself, all the beats are mine. And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boy because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine.
I was hoping he would.
So for the anniversary of Sick Boy the album, you will be getting Sick Boy, the beat, remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it. So look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping that's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, alright? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his, like, before they start complaining about blah blah blah, artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow, and so I got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man, and I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, there's a little teaser there. Oh my goodness, yeah. Even that huffing and puffing at the beginning, he's angry. And it's okay. I think there's a need for that sometimes in life. To be angry, to process, to get it out. I'm standing with Ren on this one. This is me speaking as his sister from another mister, if he likes it or not. You know, I want to be objective. I want to be professional. And I did try to talk on the psychology during this video a bit when it comes to our identity, our emotions, conflict resolution, bringing in facts, ego, pride. But obviously you can see that I was also emotionally affected by this because I don't like this at all. And I think many of you feel the same way. And even those who don't, even those who would side on kujobeats or take no side at all, right? The solution at the end of the day is not to create drama. And even for this video, my goal is not to go, ooh, let's all rally up and beat up on kujobeats. Even though the beat down is going to be pretty dope. It's not about that. It's about justice. And I think that's another psychological aspect where people get rallied up and rallied together because they want to see justice done when injustice was done. And also seeing something bad turned into good. I think that also kind of ignites fire for some people because we all have experienced injustice. Kind of when you watch a movie and the bad guy gets beaten up or someone does something horrendous and then they get their butt whooped, right? There's an element of yes, right? So I think that even that psychologically is a factor that we see injustice done, what is perceived to be injustice by several, and turn it into something good. More entertaining music, redoing Sick Boy, right? It still ends with hope. He's still choosing to stand up and dance in the light. And that's, I think, also something that relates to a lot of human beings that gives us power as we compare ourselves up and down the ladder socially, as we're looking for meaning in life, dealing with our own existential stuff, trying to find meaning. We look up to people that we admire, who are creative, who are doing something, and we go, wow, yes. Turning it around, turning it around. So let that be the conclusion. Even of this video, as I'm saying, hey, go support Ren, let's make this go viral. The conclusion is not to make it go viral to spew hate, let's go after somebody, but to support. Okay, let that be the focus. Support Ren. Don't hate on kujobeats. Don't make this this versus them. We're not going to turn this into the next Drake and Lamar battle, but we're going to support Ren. We're going to lift up those who've been done injustice by. And we can simply do that by ignoring the haters and lifting up our people. Does that make sense? So take that for good. Don't go get hateful now. I'm going to say the same thing Ren did. Don't turn this into, you know, we're going to send people ugly messages and death threats. You would be no better than the lies and the mind games that were happening according to what Ren showed us and shared with us. If we now go after people with hate, we're no better. It's petty. It's childish. The right thing is to lift up people that are doing the right thing. Promote their music. Support Ren. That's the best. Go subscribe to him. Go check out his work. And I will see you on the next ride. Ayo. Oh, and yeah, go subscribe here too.